Hello, my name is Evan Kennan, and today in this video I will be presenting my analysis of a short documentary, The Vice Guide to North Korea, and its relationship in terms of style and content to both the performative and reflexive documentary modes. The Vice Guide to North Korea is an hour-long documentary, first being released back in 2008 as an episode of the series The Vice Guide to Travel, a documentary/travel show produced by Vice Media. Shane Smith, a Canadian journalist and the co-founder and CEO of Vice Media, presents the documentary. It follows him and a cameraman, Jamie Medina, as they navigate their way into North Korea to detail the country's curious ways of life. Vice is known for documenting its content using the style of immersion journalism, where a journalist, reporter, or performer immerses themselves in a situation with the individuals or subjects involved. This type of journalistic style often leads the audience to focus on the experience instead of the writer. This style of journalism is very similar to the performative documentary mode, where the film engages the filmmaker to the story. This constructs a personal experience and offers a unique perspective on subject matter. This also allows the filmmaker to openly discuss their opinion or overall message on the content they're providing without having the need to validate it. The performative documentary mode is visibly the main documentary mode present within the film. This is most evident by having the filmmaker Shane Smith at the focus of the documentary. The main story follows Smith's tour of North Korea, chronicling his interactions and observations of the country. The documentary is presented in continual segments, with inserted footage of North Korean propaganda films edited in between and throughout each segment. Smith delivers almost 100% of all dialogue in The Vice Guide to North Korea, either to camera or with voice-over narration. There are no arranged interviews present in the documentary as well. Any interactions with individuals are often observational, with Smith either briefly engaging them on camera or him voicing his opinion on the person and his interactions with them to the camera later. The documentary only showcases one perspective of North Korea through the eyes of the filmmakers. There is no attempt to gain evidence or facts to form a balanced view and understanding of North Korea. Smith merely observes and reacts to his surroundings. Going back to the performative mode, it is clear that the audience only sees what Smith is exposed to, or more importantly, what his reaction is, by rejecting objectivity in favor of emotion. On the technical side, The Vice Guide to North Korea is filmed with basic point-and-shoot cameras, as has been implied by the filmmakers that they won't allow any of their equipment into the country. The use of these shaky, handheld cameras executes this sort of guerrilla-style filmmaking as they embark into this unknown territory to sneakily document a film. The film is shot at real locations in North Korea, capturing the very little documented country. We see the bleak and rundown cityscapes with near-empty buildings. There is also no lighting or editing added to the footage to change the landscapes, showcasing this dystopian-like society, a stark contrast to the propaganda clips of a beautiful and bustling nation throughout the film. Going back to the way the documentary is executed, another documentary mode, the reflexive mode, makes itself apparent. The reflexive documentary mode is about the relationship between the filmmaker and the audience. It shows the filmmaker behind the camera and breaks the illusion that they are making a film. In The Vice Guide to North Korea, Shane Smith constantly reminds the viewer that they are viewing a documentary, relaying to the audience time and time again that they are getting in serious trouble for sneakily filming at the wrong times. Although not documented on camera, these accusations of the North Korean guides threatening them could be true, but there is no evidence to support that claim, only Shane's words. It can be argued that the filmmaker is giving misleading information for a dramatic effect, giving the impression that they are in danger. This deceptive style of filmmaking is also evident in the documentary film Exit for the Gift Shop, a 2010 documentary directed by street artist Banksy. The film follows Thierry Guetta, a French immigrant in Los Angeles, as he tries to locate and befriend Banksy and ultimately fails. The audience are left to question if the film was an elaborate ruse or actually real accounts. This can be raised in regards to the Vice Guide to North Korea's authenticity. From the beginning of the Vice Guide to North Korea, it is clearly apparent to the audience what the filmmaker is attempting to say, that North Korea is this homogeneous society and regime. Although this is somewhat true in the documentary, Shane Smith hasn't gone in depth to why it appears that way. He scratches the surface, focusing more on the people and his interactions with them, rather than the system. The documentary doesn't necessarily show North Korea, but rather North Korea's representation of itself, with the filmmakers merely observing and reacting to what they are being shown. It merely reinforces Western preconceptions of North Korea, with no evident conclusion reached. The filmmakers don't attempt to find commonality with anything, and instead highlights the spectacle of the bizarre land. The use of North Korean propaganda films only adds to the preconceptions. In summary, The Vice Guide to North Korea is a hybrid of the performative and reflexive documentary modes, giving the viewer a glimpse into the unusual lifestyle and cultural differences that North Korea has compared to the Western world. The filmmakers focus on the personal experience, underlining the truth as relative. By only showing their perspective of the nation through complicated editing, the viewer can't determine whether the documentary they receive is real or a fiction to voice their opinion. Thank you.